12 days.
Coming to you live from the...
Watches it get out of here. Gamble sets a deal. He struck him out swinging. And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Feels like it's over now. I got a big weekend coming up, starting Friday with a bar mitzvah weekend for the kids. So I don't know, it kind of felt like it was the last weekend to lounge around and not do all that much. Good morning, Matt Jones. What did you, I know this next weekend you've got some big things going on. I think a lot of folks have fantasy football drafts, which for some includes lengthy trips. Others just includes a trip to a friend's house. So I don't know, that's not like the kind of thing that's going to make you too anxious. So I guess summer's over. Happy Monday.
Yeah. Happy Monday. It's about time. Ready to go. Ready for some baseball playoffs too. Ready. I always love the World Series. I know it's getting, when football starts, it's getting closer to some baseball playoffs. Excited to see this Razorback team went to Lake Ouachita over the weekend and so didn't have a lot of service. And then I saw you text me. You were on Pinnacle Mountain, which looked beautiful as well. But it's like I got it 6 hours. You know, it's like the service out there for whatever my cell phone plan was, which is okay. You know, it's okay if I can't use my cell phone. But
I don't think you might.
Great time. We had a great time.
That's good. Yeah, I got out yesterday morning early. If you're going to try to get out with it on a day where it's funny, I got into the car later on in the afternoon, and it was I'd parked outside. I hadn't parked with any shade. You get inside the car and you can't really. Is it really 120 degrees? That's what the car tells me that it is. I guess inside the car it was. So you got to get outside a little bit earlier, and felt good. I don't know how many hikes or exercises I'll get in over college football weekends, because it all starts. Well, it's not like any of the games this weekend are too all that exciting for me, or I think for a lot of our listeners. We get some people who are Iowa State fans. We know some Iowa State fans. And that's the big game this weekend. And just kind of watching a game in Dublin looked fun last year. What was that, Notre Dame Navy last year in Dublin?
Was it? No, I thought it was Florida State for some reason. Was
I can't remember.
The year before?
Maybe it was the year before. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I guess we also wonder if McAfee gets drunk.
Florida
with Nick
State,
Saban.
they stayed over there too for the whole season. You know, if you notice, they didn't even bring their players back. They're like, yeah, we'll put some emblem and put some helmets on somebody, but it's really not the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, be a cold year in hell the next time the Seminoles make a trip across the Atlantic for anything involving football. College teams still, basketball teams still making the European trips. I think you can separate football from basketball in that sense. Yeah, I'm excited for baseball playoffs too. I'm excited for the start of the regular college football season. NFL coming up really, really soon, and. Why don't I just start with something that makes listeners mad? Not anything that I'm going to say here, but if you want to get mad, you can just sort of listen to the opinions of a couple of people that on Outkick. Names are Chad Withrow and Jonathan Hutton on a show that's called Hot Mic. I don't pay too much attention to Outkick, but I think they've got their audience. Josh Pate was on the show with them, and this is part of a segment that they're doing in which they're trying to anger fans. Essentially, that's what they're trying to do, and I think they're punching down with programs that I think in their mind might be a little bit easier to punch down upon in recent years, doing Kentucky and now Arkansas. And here's what they said yesterday.
Arkansas, Woo Pig Sooie is only cool if you're winning. If I'm in the stadium and I'm getting my ass kicked, I'm not joining in, even if I'm an Arkansas fan on that. After a field goal or after a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, I can't feel like that's worthy of my emotion.
That's well said. And Josh, I hate to be the guy that squashes dreams for people, and I don't want to limit someone's potential or what they feel like they could be. But like you have a high school guidance counselor, and they tell you, maybe you're not going to be a nuclear physicist, or maybe med school isn't for you.
But Meemaw said,
yeah, but my mom said I could do whatever I want.
You'll be president.
Maybe you're not going to be president one day. The world needs ditch diggers too, right? Like that whole thing from your high school guidance counselor. That's the talk I want to have with Arkansas fans. Is like, you're fine going 8-4. It is totally acceptable to be happy with 8-4 and the occasional 9-3. You are not a championship program. You're never going to be a championship program in this conference. Lower your goals. I want to be the high school guidance counselor for Razorback fans everywhere and tell them, lower your expectations.
Learn a trade.
Yes.
I can't tell which one is which. And the funny thing is, Pate is on the bottom of the screen there, and he's covering up his face because I think he's had experience, specifically on social media channels with Razorback fans, and he wasn't good. Pate doesn't punch down. At least I haven't seen him punch down very often at all. I only play this because this is the comprehension of Arkansas football. I don't remember who it was a couple of weeks ago that kind of said some of the same stuff. But, is it a matter of recency or whatever? It is a matter who the coach is in these folks' mind, because if they were to transport themselves 14 and 15 years ago, which I understand in today's college football is kind of a completely different era, they would not be saying these things. It would be a different understanding of Arkansas football. But this is what the understanding nationally of Arkansas football is. I think our listeners fully appreciate that. And if they're talking about fans who think they have championship expectations, we got a couple of people that have called in, texted in, predicting 10 wins or 11 wins. Most of the people, if they're just being optimistic, I think in their eyes, are realistic optimism of about 9 wins. So I don't know if they're, pointing to necessarily the championship expectations. But if you were to transport Matt 14, 15 years ago, it'd be a totally different thing. And what's to say you can't get there at some point?
What's these guys' resume? Because anytime somebody's talking like a douchebag, you're kind of like, well, what are these two cats that have they played? Or are they like some other people that we know that have radio shows that have never played the game before?
Well, and I honestly not heard of them before today. It's just because I don't pay attention to Outkick very much.
That's exactly right. I go back. If you can't make a left-handed layup, why would I argue basketball with you? Who are these guys? Have they ever played the game? Have they been in a huddle? Have they done two-a-days? What have they done to be able to talk like that? And so that's why you don't worry about stuff like that.
Well, what they've ended up doing is making a segment, and again, I only play this because I don't think that these two guys here are the only folks who have that kind of understanding of Arkansas football, and maybe that's exactly what the program is currently. 8-4, 9-3 would certainly feel like you're outperforming a lot of people's expectations, and that's independent of the expectations that are in that locker room, or maybe, in your mind, the wildest kind of expectations. But I don't know many people here that think it's a championship program right now. I just know that if you had a 12-team or a 16-team playoff, or heck, what the Big Ten is even talking about right now, Matt, I don't know if you saw that yesterday, 24, 28-team playoff, and you're looking into the decade that you played at Arkansas, Matt, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you would be in the conversation of playoff contenders. You had 9-win seasons. You had 10-win seasons. If you win 9 games, you have a 24-team playoff. You are in that conversation. Heck, you win 9 games now. That was part of the conversation last year. So, hey, crazier things have happened. I just put this out because I wanted something that had some alliteration for Make You Mad Monday, and I'm not saying we're going to do this every single Monday, but I think this is the perception nationally of Arkansas football. And then you end up having one of those years where, like in 2021, the conversation changed a little bit. It says, well, college football is just better when Arkansas is good. You know what that means? That means I didn't think Arkansas would be good, and it's just fine. It's fun. I love when the little guy is better than I thought he would be.
Yeah, it's funny. There's not a lot of Arkansas people out there beating their chest saying we're going to go 12-0. It's like what is I don't get it's like they're going for clicks, but it's you hear people like that and you just like, why was my station on that channel? Let me go ahead and flip this somewhere else because nobody's out here saying we're going to win a national title.
And all it takes is 1 year where you surprise everybody.
You get a running back, you get a quarterback that can go, you get a couple guys on defense, the ball bounces your way. 100%. It's been done at Arkansas. You can win 9-10 games and make the playoffs. 100%.
What do you think these two were talking about Indiana football before last year? What do you think these two guys were talking about SMU football before last year, right? Now these are teams that are preseason top 25. Appreciate that Indiana is not looked at as Penn State or Ohio State, but they're also getting votes. All it takes is 1 year, and the perception changes. Maybe this is that year, maybe it's not. And if you've paid attention over the last 2 months, nobody knows with all of the different players that you got on this club right now. So, hey, maybe they go out and surprise some people, and maybe at some point these two guys on Outkick, Withrow and Hutton, may sing a little bit of a different tune. But then again, if they're going to do this, if they're going to do reasons to dislike programs throughout the entire conference, well, they're going to go all the way to the top two. Have fun with Georgia and Texas and all of that. Here's what's halftime on this Monday. We get back with the one and only Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation in about 20 minutes. Mike's back at work after a week in the hospital, and that is the best news that we've got all day long. So Mike joins us in 20 minutes. And we've got Connor O'Gara Saturday Down South at 1:15. Plus calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline all throughout the show, 877-377-6963. We'll be back right after this quick break.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Ryan McGee, ESPN.com senior writer. Marty and McGee. Squeeze play or red zone?
Squeeze play. Squeeze play is like a drug for me. Like I've never done drugs, but I kind of get it because when they go to that quad box, I was texting Mike Rooney and Chris Budden and Chris Burke and Matt Schick going, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, Todd Richardson back here, Shangri-La Resort, Mount Ida, Arkansas. My buddy Phil Carr. Phil, growing up, I love the cafe, but I also love just leaving off the dock, off the boat. You guys have a full-service marina here that even if you don't stay here, you can take advantage of.
Absolutely. We've got gas, we've got tackle, we've got bait, minnows, worms, everything you need to enjoy the day on the lake, fishing, or just family fun. Shangri-La Resort in beautiful Mount Ida, Arkansas. A touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full certainteed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with Certainteed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howe in Van Buren.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Okay, fellas, listen up. We're going to run a 10-9 slant on 2. Ready?
Man, it's hot out here. I sure could use a cheer one.
This isn't the time for that, Baker.
That perfect fizz with just the right cherry kick.
Come on, we got to focus here.
He's right. Nobody does cherry like cheerwine.
I like mine with tiny ice. Love tiny ice. Cheerwine goes great with barbecue, too.
Listen, we win and I'll buy you guys all the cheer wine you can drink. Deal?
Yeah.
Ready?
Try the uniquely refreshing cherry flavor of the South. Cheerwine and Diet Cheerwine. Uniquely Southern.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to leave.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Monte Harrison showing up on a Saturday scrimmage, and he shows up every day, but he seems to make big plays in scrimmages, which is really good to see. And Mike Washington seems to, in live ball, he seems to make long runs. Today happened to be a 91. I think his second run today was maybe 32 or something like that.
Isn't that nice to hear? Home run running back, Matt. It happened both scrimmages. I think there was over 60-yard touchdown last week, now 91. It's against the second stringers, too, which also, hey, these things go together. If you got a running back that's bursting through for 91, I know it's not just on the defensive line, goes along so with the conversation that, hey, we'll just play this because these things, for me, might go together.
Amen. Hell yeah, sure do. May have to look at somebody else. We'll figure that out by Monday, but we believe in our young freshmen. We do, whether they're ready or not right now. You know, we've got to go have an honest conversation about that, which we already have. So we need another big over there and a guy that's a veteran. So we'll have to figure that one out between now and Monday.
He's talking about being thin on the defensive line in August, Matt. And I think that has to do with David Oki being injured. And I think they're talking about Oki being out for a couple of weeks. But I don't want to hear about thin position groups in August. Never.
Maybe Monte Harris can play D-line.
Let's just move him around. Let's just keep moving him around.
That's right, man. We've had to do that. You know, Brandon Holmes was one of those do-everything guys who he had over 30 carries in a football game, and then he's also started at middle linebacker. You know, like there's certain guys, you know, DeCorey Birmingham could have done that.
Hey, Monte comes from baseball. You know,
that's what I mean.
He didn't just play center field. You got to play the other sides, too. I'm sure he didn't play much infield with his size. Yeah, I don't want to hear very. It's like, do you remember? Was it a couple seasons ago? We're talking about how good the offensive line looked in spring, And the defensive, well, it was the other way around. How good the defensive line looked at spring, like, this might not be very good for the offensive line. Right now, who's getting the most talk of August camp?
Mike Washington.
Mike Washington. The talk on Antonio Jordan has cooled off a little bit. It's more on Mike Washington. And so, again, looking at it both ways. If you're talking mostly about your potential RB1, that means he's breaking through teammates of his on the other side. So it falls right into what I started coming around to last week. There's going to be a lot of points scored. If you're going to win 9 games this year, if you're going to win 10 games this year, you're going to do it by scoring 45, 46 points per game. That'd be really difficult to pull that off, but you may need that kind of number.
Yeah, I mean that's a good number when you're like, hey, our RB1 had 2 carries in the scrimmage today, and he's averaging 60 yards a carry. But then you're like, well, does our defense not tackle good? Is our defensive line not able to plug any gaps? Is our offensive line getting up on the linebackers? Is he breaking arm tackles? You don't get to see the video of it much, but this is part of camp, part of practice. You don't really can't really read too much into it. What was the other day last week? It was like Taylor Green threw 6 touchdown passes. It's like, cool. That's what you want to hear. Does that mean our D-backs can't cover anybody? So it's
You literally could talk yourself into a circle in
yeah. You want them to be healthy. I think the little stuff that matters, Phil, is when they say we're thin at D-line already. That's kind of would get my antennas kind of like, well, I hope there's a freshman. I hope there's somebody that we got that's going to step up and be in the rotation, because you're going to have to put 4 of them out there every time. Every time there's a minimum, you got to have 4 of them out there. So you need at least 8 on your roster.
It would be like not knowing who your quarterback's going to be by now, meaning nobody has stood out enough to take the job away. So there's little things that they'll say, the coaches will say, that are those are the nuggets of honesty people are looking for. Now, you're going to get honesty in positive ways. It's not a lie that Mike Washington is a touchdown threat every time he touches the football, potentially. Because if you score from 91, even against the second team defense at Arkansas in a scrimmage, I think you could score from 91 from almost anywhere, from anybody, against anybody. So, you're going to get those nuggets of truth from Sam in a positive way, and hearing about Monte and hearing about Washington. And really, I think the way they're talking about the offensive line and where Marion Harris may have improved, and I believe the idea of the depth of the wide receivers and the idea of Talon improving from one year to the next. But I also believe when Sam says this, and I think I've been thinking this for a while, I think most of you have too, is how are you going to stop the run? I know you like your linebackers. But man, they're going to do some heavy lifting, it feels. And if you don't have enough guys to eat up blocks, they're really good offensive lines that you're going to be facing all season long. So as good as the linebackers are, you may end up with an offensive lineman getting to the, pushing him through before, he's able to fill up one of those gaps that he needs to fill. So yeah, it is. And Seth Texan, it's hard to judge on a second group defensive line against the starters because you don't have that depth, right? If he's running for 91 against the second string defensive line, well, then that's where the depth mostly is lacking. Again, these things definitely do work together. 877-377-6963. If you ever hear, and how many days out until the first game? Next Saturday, 12 days. If you hear the word procedure for your potential best defensive player, does it worry you? Because Sam said, Xavier Story's been battling a hamstring and missed the scrimmage. He said he had a procedure. Didn't say what the procedure was, but here it is.
He's had a procedure that we need to set him. We have to for about 5 days so the medication can work on him. It'd be different if we didn't know him and all those things, but he'll have every bit of a week to 8 or 9 days of full go before we play A&M. So we just made that decision to get him help him a little bit and get him fixed. And when you make that decision, you got to shut him down for a minute.
Yeah, shut him down for a minute, which is 5 days. I don't know what the procedure is. If it sounds like it's something that just the medicine has to take, is this something that he's going to be dealing with all year long? If it's a matter of masking the injury for 5 days so that he can get back to practice at some point, Matt, it sounds like, and again, all you go is by what it sounds like. I have no idea, but it sounds like the kind of thing, because I know hamstrings can last an entire season. Hello, Logan Maxwell. Remember hearing about the hamstring for the right fielder in January, and then you heard about it again in May? And that's baseball. Is not doing quite the same things that Sorey's going to be doing, Matt.
Soft tissue, I've dealt with that. Soft tissue issues. The best thing, you have to take rest. It's almost you have to get in the pool, do a pool work. You got to be able to take some of that gravity off, some of whatever the tension is. So if you get in the pool and do a workout, until you can move freely in a pool, then you can come back out and we'll try it again if it's a groin or hamstring. Because each little time you kind of tweak it, Phil, yeah, it just sets you back another 4 weeks. So you kind of got to let that thing heal, or it's just something you're going to deal with all. And so if it's somebody that, hey man, his first game can't be till Ole Miss, then that's just part of it. You got to live with that and get him healthy so you can have him for the rest of the year. You got that. What's your October 4th? That's our first bye week, I think.
Yeah.
So you're trying to see. Maybe you have to wait all the way till October 4th. I don't know, but you try to sprinkle him in whenever he's healthy, especially if he's somebody you need. If you want him and he's going to be a guy that you're kind of counting on, try to get him as healthy as you can.
I don't know of another player on the defensive side that they are counting on more than Xavier Sorey this year. It feels to me like, I don't get to say the defense is built around him. I don't know if I'd go that far, but his speed, I think he's got a playmaking ability that there aren't many other linebackers on the team that can. And if you're talking about being,
he's very instinctual. If that's
always around the ball,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
If you're thin on the defensive line, and there's questions I think about the secondary still, and those won't be answered until the Ole Miss game. Hearing this about Xavier Sorey right now. It's not a season-ending injury. They're not saying he's going to miss a game. But, two things I don't want to hear about. Thin at any position group in August, and your best defensive player, when the defense is the main question mark this year, having to sit for 5 days. They said if he had to play today, he could. Well, what does that mean? You're 70%, 75%, 80%, not the same guy. I'd rather you be 100% in September, because I appreciate the idea that most everybody is at best, Matt, 85% in November? About right? So at that point, what's Sorey if he's been dealing with a sore hamstring all year long? It's like Cam Ball with the elbow last year. Wasn't quite the same player. 877-377-6963, the Lewis Automotive Hotline. We missed him last week. We get Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation today. He's with us after this break.
And a snake did scare the tuna when I was 4. He jumped out at the tuna. That was it with me on snakes.
This is halftime.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland,
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
East Coast summers living on the run. Now the beachfront nights, fireflies and thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's where bettors win together because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Got a little jingle.
Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I wanna be free, like the bluebirds flying by me, like the waves out on the blue sea. If your love has to tie me, don't try me, say goodbye. I wanna be free. Don't say you love me, say you like me. But when I need you beside me.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
He is the toughest man in Arkansas sports media, and he joins us on a Monday after a week where sounded like it was pretty uncomfortable. But he's back healthy, back at work as well, and back with us on Halftime. Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin with us. Mike, good morning. It's great to have you back. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. It's good to be out of the hospital, that's for sure. I hated that place. My voice is a little bad because I spent so much time on my back, so it kind of throws your voice out of whack, but it'll be back.
Well, good. It'll be back. Just takes a little bit of practice and a little bit of just getting day to day, I guess. Do you feel like you missed much last week? You know, you're focused on your health, but in August camp, this is the time to miss a week if you're covering college football.
Well, I really didn't miss that much because what I did while I was in that hospital room was I watched every bit of video that was on the internet. Any outlet that put video up from a practice, I watched it. I watched all the press conferences. And, of course, I was back. I was one day away from being back at work when they had that second scrimmage. And there's a lot to digest from those 2 weeks. But to me, there are two main points that I think people should look at. And number one is at wide receiver, because there was no position group any more of a question mark than that one, because virtually anybody that contributed last year was gone. And you had about 5 transfers they brought in here, but which one of those are going to step up? And when this thing started, right off the bat, the names you heard mentioned were Omega Blake, Jalen Brown, Raylan Sharp, but then as we went practice to practice to practice, you started hearing Cam Shank's name, Courtney Crutchfield's name, C.J. Brown's name, Cross Johnson, and Monty Harrison. We kept hearing him over and over again. And what I've concluded after watching all this stuff develop is that they've got about 6 guys, which would mean for the 3 wide receivers position, they're 2 deep. But what you got is guys that can catch the ball. What you don't have is a quarterback that's targeting specific receivers like last year. When there's been a lot of talk about what went on last year with why certain receivers didn't catch the ball and others got targeted, and it was because Taylon Green was not comfortable enough in the offense to throw to people he wasn't familiar with, and so it left a lot of people out. And I don't think he's doing that this year. I think he's running the offense. I think if he looks out there and he's going through his progressions and somebody's open, he's not going, I don't want to throw to that guy. He just puts it out there. There was a lot of talk when this whole thing started, going all the way back to media day. Who's the next Andrew Armstrong? I don't think they're saying that anymore. I'm not sure there's going to be an Andrew Armstrong, a guy that gets almost all of the catches. I don't think that's good. The closest thing to it is probably Monty Harrison. He ended up that scrimmage yesterday with about a 45-yard touchdown catch. It's been on the internet. It's really an interesting touchdown to watch, in that he bobbled the ball a little bit and gathered it back in under pressure. I think he's consistent because he didn't play much last year, but he was out there every day in practice. He was in the system. He was learning how this thing works under Petrino and under his wide receivers coach. And I think he is more consistent because he was here last year. A lot of these other guys, this is their first year at Arkansas, but they're stepping up too. So I think that's encouraging. But the biggest news to me is the emergence of the running game. And why is that important, guys? Because if you go back to Sam Pittman's best team in 2021, you had a team that averaged almost 230 yards a game on the ground. And what did we have 2 years ago with that team that won 4 games? It was down to 160 yards. Last year was back up to about 180. I really believe if this team wants to win 8, 9 games, get back up there where it needs to be, they're going to have to average over 200 yards rushing a game. And at least with what Mike Washington has done with a 90-yard touchdown run, another one of about 40 yards, and Sam Pittman talked about why this is happening, because he said, I brought in these transfers in the offensive line for better pass blocking, but what we ended up with was better run blocking because they're bigger and they're more athletic. That long touchdown run of 91 yards was a checkoff. This is Taylon Green spotting an alignment and saying, okay, right there in the A-gap, that's where we can attack. And that's where it came, right over Kimona. The block was there. All Mike Washington needed was a little opening, and boom, he's gone. It looks like to me he's got better speed than we thought and better moves. And if you've got better blocking, you may have a chance to get back up there around 200 yards rushing a game.
What would you do with Xavier Sori, Mike, if his hamstrings obviously you wouldn't play him in Alabama A&M game, but how would you treat him with white gloves right now? Because he's supposed to be our best defensive player.
Sure, I don't think you take any chances with him, but I don't think he's that far away from being back. They've still got a couple of weeks, and not 2 full weeks, but almost. And then you maybe got another game, if at the most 2. But I don't think that situation is as serious as some people think it is.
You hear about the word thin defensive line. It's August. Are we targeting the weakest? Is this the weakest position group right now? That's the only position group I've heard the word thin, and I don't want to hear thin in August, Mike.
Yeah, that's where it is. And that's where you've got the one injury to your backup, a transfer that had been doing good things, and now he looks like he's going to miss a couple of games. The concerning thing is that Travis Williams mentioned a little over a week, almost 2 weeks ago, that there were communication issues along that defensive line that needed to be corrected. Then you go to the scrimmage, and it's not insignificant to me that Sam Pittman didn't go ones-on-ones like he did that first scrimmage. This was the 2 offense against the 1 defense, and what did they do? They went right down the field and scored. Now, it wasn't that they overpowered these guys. It was based on mistakes. There were 3 key penalties that kept that drive alive, and what Pittman talked about was you got to correct that stuff. A lot of people think the practices are going to get more intense now. They're not. They're going to back off physically. And what happens over the next, certainly the rest of this week, and of course when you get into next week, you're into game week. But I think what they want to do the rest of this week is go back and look at video of that scrimmage and look where the problems are and say, look, this is what you got to do to correct these issues. But guys, yes, that's the question mark on that defensive line.
Okay, I got to get with you on a different topic here in college football because it came out yesterday that Big Ten athletic directors are circulating an idea amongst themselves for now of a 24 or 28 team college football playoff, which I would put that in the category of expanding March Madness. Nobody wants this. Maybe the TV partners do, and the more I think about this, there's another radical plan that Rob Manfred brings up yesterday on the ESPN Major League Baseball telecast of a radical realignment. And I think when you look at the people that are doing the talking here and who wields influence, you look at pro sports, you get a real commissioner, and they can actually talk and maybe believe about the idea of something that's best for the sport. When you look at everything going on in college football, independent of the other sports, because football's the 800-pound gorilla, they're not doing what's best for the sport. They're doing what they think is best for their conference, specifically for their conference and nothing else. 24-team playoff wouldn't make much sense in Division I FBS. Do you think so?
Well, the fans are absolutely against it, but let's look at the whole history of how we went from 2 games to 4 to 12. All of this has happened slowly, and what will happen next, guys, is I promise you it'll go to 16. And then once you get to 16, the issue is, does it go beyond that? And if it does, what it will be is the TV people saying, look, you want more money from us, you got to give us, these playoff games are bigger, we make money off them, we need more of them. So it will be the TV people, and then it will be the SEC, the Big Ten in particular, those two going, we got to have more money, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And you're right, you're not doing what the fans want, you're doing what makes you more money.
It's interesting, too, because it's always been about expansion for years. I mean, not just in college football, but trying to figure out how to crown a champion. You expand the playoffs in baseball going 50 years ago. The NFL, they expanded playoffs. They keep expanding them a little bit. More is better is the idea. I think the idea of that has stopped now. More is not always better when it comes to postseason because it feels like it cheapens it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But there have been a lot of people against even the expansion beyond the 2 teams. If you go back far enough, just the 2-team national championship game. There were people that didn't want it to go to 4. And then I guarantee you when it went from 4 to 12, it was like, what are you doing? This is where the complaints are really starting. But the issue is whether or not that makes any difference, because these schools want money, and everything costs more now. You're having to pay these players. You've got the revenue-sharing budget. We're not sure where NIL is headed, but now when you start paying players, the costs go up, and so we got to have more money. They don't want to there was a lot of talk when this revenue sharing thing was approved. Okay, that's going to cost so much. You're not going to see these facilities improvements anymore. All this stuff that was done, Alabama gets this waterfall and its brand new locker room and all these fancy things that were done to help recruiting. I don't think they're willing to give up that stuff. So, yes, the first priority is to make sure you've got enough money you can cover your revenue sharing maximum. But then I think a lot of these SEC schools, Big Ten too, they still want to expand stadiums, make this nicer, make that better, spend more money, and it's just all about money.
Wild time. Nothing seems to make very much sense. That's the thing. Is in pro sports, things seem to make more sense. Right now, college football with the unwieldy leagues, nobody knows how they want to crown a champion. This is the one sport that stands out, This is the one sport that truly doesn't make any sense. But is that a feature or is that a bug? Is that used to be people love the imperfection of college football. It feels right now, Mike, like they're getting a little bit not tired of it, but questioning some of the things about college football.
We'll see how quickly it goes to 16, because that's next. If that gets put off, then maybe that's a good sign. But when it goes to 16, I promise you within a year or two, they'll be talking about 24.
Yeah. Defensive coordinator Travis Williams will speak in about 15 minutes. I know Sam is at the Little Rock Touchdown Club today. Is the defense is going to be, to me, the weak link? Where do you see strength defensively right now?
Obviously, at linebacker, I think they're really good at linebacker. I think the secondary is, to a man, if you do it man to man to man, they're up about 15 pounds per guy back there in the secondary. So they're bigger, haven't lost any speed. So I think it's going to be a more physical secondary. That's just that. And look, I don't want to give the impression that D-line is bad. There's some good players back in there with Cam Ball and 2 or 3 others. It's just the worry is they might wear down. You've got to have more depth. And right now, Sam Pittman said we're not deep enough there.
Mike, it's great having you back on. I'm glad you're back at work, feeling good, and looking forward to doing it again next week, okay?
See ya.
Mike Irwin, Pig Trail Nation, every Monday on Halftime. You can open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Next few segments, 877-377-6963. Make sure you download the Hit That Line Now app. You can take it anywhere you're going, all across the world. Listen to all the shows from Chuck and Bo all the way up to Ruskin and Zach, and all the podcasts as well at the Hit That Line Now app. It's brought to you by Taco Bell, featuring slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu. Here to stay. They got ingredients like purple cabbage, freshly prepared pico. You try it today at participating Taco Bell locations across our listening audience at Taco Bell. Bring it back, halftime back to wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
You are the best decathlon athlete ever came in the state of Arkansas, period. No one was ever like you. And you know I love you, man.
This is Halftime.
Hey, Ty Richardson, back at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all have got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shinerbach, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Powerball jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $500 million. So, what would you do if you won?
I would buy a mansion, buy my dream car.
I've always wanted to go to Dublin, sit in a pub, and just kind of see what life's like.
I'm probably going to pass out.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot of more than $500 million. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Back to school means back on your feet, and True Grit Running Company has you covered. Whether you're a student, teacher, nurse, or retail warrior, our footwear keeps you moving in comfort and style. Shop top brands and discover new ones. Plus, the best socks, insoles, and gear that'll keep you going strong all year long. This season, step into success at True Grit Running Company, where comfort meets grit. Located on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Run in today before the bell rings. True Grit Running Company, fueled by passion, built for you.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything, and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hotline, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Morning, morning glory. If you'd like to know where was I last night, well, I saw a girl with a boy in her eye, and she's so out of sight. She's my girl, and that's what it was last night, off in a dream. She's my girl, took her up in the sky, that's where I was last night.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Sheffield. Do you believe what you just saw? Bobby McKee.
How about Scotty Scheffler's 82-foot chip yesterday at the BMW, Matt? Tied on the 17th hole. That wins it for him, his 5th tournament win of the year. That's almost an entire baseline. A chip. Undulating greens. Pretty amazing shot. You ever hit something like that before?
Well, not under that pressure, but yeah, I've chipped in before from like that, but not in that sense. What's even cooler, Phil, and I asked, I believe it was Grant Hall last week, he didn't have his regular caddy with him. You know, he's kind of, and not that it, you know, you kind of wonder how much that matters, but he is the number one player in the world.
So just thinking about hitting a chip, not a putt, but a chip. At that situation, that's basically the length that a runner will run from first base to second base. So you get your lead off, it'd be 4 or 5 feet off, so it'd be 8 feet away from the base. It's pretty amazing. 5 tournament wins, 2 majors. Still got another major left. And we're all done with it. Well, what's the 5th major?
It's the Tour Championship, but the majors are done.
That's all taken care of. So pretty amazing, Chip. Way to finish it off. So you've knocked one in from that far off, but with nobody other than your friends watching.
Yeah. One of my buddies, we were in Florida, and I hit one. I was about 60 yards away, chipped one in, and then later on in the same round, kind of chipped one in again. It's like they come in groves. I told you I got to play one round when John Daly on his course up in Dardanelle years ago. This is back when little John might have been a 3rd grader, so he was out there with us as me and a couple buddies. He chipped in twice and had 2 more like hit the pin in one round. He's out there barefooted. He just kind of just chipping in,
just messing around.
Chipped in twice, and you're just like, talent just oozes out of him.
You see Daly Jr., I think he goes by John Daly II. I've seen it 2 ways. Lost in the quarterfinals to, I think his name's Mason Howell, a Georgia commit. Still, that's the farthest any Razorback's ever gone, I think, in the U.S. Amateurs. So good for John Daly II, and may end up with a star at some point. Might be a college star right now. Hour number 2 of Halftime's coming up here in just a moment. You can get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline anytime at 877-377-6963. Remember, Crabtree RV Center in Alma, been serving our listening audience for over 3/4 of a century and counting. You get the best RV purchasing experience at Crabtree RV. They'll help you find the perfect RV for the adventures that you're talking about. Personalized financing and a top-of-the-line parts and service department on site. That's Crabtree RV, where I-40 and I-49 come together in Alma, and online at crabtreerv.com. 3 up, 3 down, about 20 minutes from now. We're into hour number 2, right after the top of the hour.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine, a slight chance of a shower or storm. A high this afternoon into the upper 90s with a heat index near 105. Chance of a few showers and storms tonight, low 70s, and another round of scattered showers and storms on Tuesday. High will be right around the upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Poor Ruskin and Zach, it's just not quite fair to listen to Ty crack a beer while on the air.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 12 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
.12:01 halftime continues. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. No guests, hour number 2. We'll have 3 up, 3 down coming up in the next 15 minutes or so. You know, one thing we haven't heard, Matt, from the press conferences from preseason, from any of the coaches, certainly not from Sam Pittman. I don't think anybody has been suspended indefinitely or even suspended at all. Remember last year, I think there was a thing with Blackstock, Keyshawn Blackstock might have sat out, like did a little hold-in because he hadn't been paid. They figured that out. And then, of course, you had a couple of guys get kicked off the team during the season. But Auburn has suspended indefinitely a freshman defensive lineman due to a violation of team rules. I don't know too many freshman defensive linemen that are ready to come into the SEC and play immediately or make an impact, but there you go. We haven't had anybody suspended indefinitely yet. So you want to go positive? There's one positive for you.
Yeah, that's a good positive. I did see that numero deuce, number 2, Cam Newton at Auburn, he was going to get his jersey retired. I mean, Heisman Trophy winner, national championship. I guess that's about right.
It's about right, yeah. Nobody's worn number 2 since Newton played there anyway. It's already been retired. They just didn't have the ceremony. They were waiting for him to fully retire from the NFL. What's it been, 3 years? Why are they waiting so long? Yeah, nobody has worn number 2 since Newton did in 2010, except for one of his teammates that year, Aaron Savage, who was a defensive back. Spells the name A-A-I-R-O-N. That must be Aaron. Yuck, yuck. But yeah, and they hadn't had an offensive player wear number 2, except for Cam Newton at Auburn, in 20 years.
Wow.
2005 was the last one. You can't point to this and say, well, Arkansas needs to do the same thing with Darren McFadden, because annually somebody gets number 5. They literally retired the number quietly without Newton even having a ceremony.
Yeah, I think number 2, man. I think Manziel, but I always think Deion Sanders out there at Florida State playing cornerback. I mean, just one of the best. And then I guess a lot of people feel you probably think Derek Jeter, the captain, a little bit. Yeah.
Just the fact that there was a single-digit number
that was still left.
Yeah, with the Yankees. Because what do they have? They've retired, I think, was it 1 through 12?
I know you went over the list. I know all the single digits were retired, yeah.
Would you wear 13? I know you want the slimmer numbers.
I thought that's A-Rod. A-Rod wore 13. Good, gross. No, I don't want. If A-Rod wore it, it's gross.
I don't even believe in that kind of stuff. I don't have triskaidekaphobia, but I'd like to make sure that I'm not going to freak out the fans. But if you're in a building that doesn't have a 13th floor, what do you look at the 14th floor as? It's like, why are we lying about this? I know that's the 13th floor. You can't call something that it's not. You can try, but we all know the truth here. Yeah. But annually there is a Razorback that has number 5. This year there's 2 of them. So you have like a freshman wide receiver, and I can't remember his name, but
Broden was 5 last year, wasn't he? I think there was
Cam Ball. That's right.
Yeah.
Broden was number 5. Yeah, hopefully the kid who's wearing 5 now will hold on to the ball a little more often. It's Jacaden Ferguson, wide receiver out of Houston, freshman.
I'm all about not retiring numbers, but having some type of and I think he is in the Arkansas Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, whatever. Like you have some type of tribute to him, 100%. I don't know how many teams, Phil, but I bet it's single digits. How many teams have had a running back win the Doak Walker Award back-to-back years?
Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. Is it a matter if Darren would have won the Heisman either of those years, and you're the only Heisman Trophy winner in program history, that number probably gets retired, doesn't it? Because this will be the 4th officially retired number at Auburn. 3 of them are Heisman Trophy winners. Heck, I know, Heisman's, they got a statue of him out there outside the stadium anyway at Auburn. But yeah, I think if D-Mac would have won the Heisman, it probably would have been retired. But I like what they're doing with his number. I like that there'll be a patch on the uniforms for both Ball and Ferguson that maintains that somebody special wore this number. It's not like they're not paying some kind of homage to it. And the idea that when you are handed that number at Arkansas, it means something.
It's like getting the number 10 shirt on any soccer club. That's exactly right.
877-377-6963, the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Chris reminds us that Cam Newton wanted to wear number 2 at Carolina, but Jimmy Clausen wouldn't give him the number. Who won that battle?
Well, Cam went to number 1, I think.
That's right.
Clausen, I remember Clausen starting as a true freshman for Notre Dame. His brother, Casey Clausen, was the Tennessee quarterback the year they got us in 6 overtimes. So that Clausen name, yeah, they were trying to do their thing.
Troy thinks players should have the right to earn the right to wear number 5 at Arkansas. And here's the thing, though, is you hand a freshman wide receiver that number, and he'll know because he's got the patch on the jersey. He'll know. There's some added expectations when you get that number. Let's go to the phones. Speaking of added expectations, the Tune is here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Hey, Charlie. Can you meet our expectations for this phone call?
And what was your number, Tuna? If you got to choose a number to represent your jersey, what number are you going with?
Well, in basketball, it was always, no matter what, I had to have 33. Because I was just a huge. I mean, because I thought I was Larry Bird. I never got to 6'8" or whatever he was. But I
bet you Charlie's got the dirty Larry Bird mustache from early in his career.
Just a hick from French Lick.
I got the full beard. Yeah, I got the ginger beard like mad over there, man. Back then I couldn't even hardly grow a mustache back then. Phil, I don't know, man. It came later on in life when I was able to grow the facial hair. But I'll say this for football though, my favorite jersey I like to wear was number 2. So I don't know why. But that was my jersey.
Just stay for Jimmy Clausen and move on.
Now I did. Hey, I was a fan of 9. I ain't gonna lie, Matt, and you're a big reason behind that. Now, you in high school, what did you wear, Matt?
5. I was always Jalen Rose, Lamar Odom. Those were it didn't matter what sport. I always wanted number 5.
Okay. Now, so when you went to the pros at the time,
you couldn't do a single digit unless you were a quarterback or I think if you were a kicker or a punter, you could do single digit, but that was it. Yeah.
Would you have worn 9 if
David Garrard was 9, Leftwich was 7, and Quinn Gray were 5. They were all there before me. No, I like 18. I like it. Yeah, I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have took. I mean, if I could have got a single digit, absolutely 100%, I would have been a single digit over 18. Yeah. It wouldn't have mattered which one it was.
I would say the caller or someone texting talking about people have to earn number 5. I kind of get where that's coming from, but I will say on defense, if there's anybody that deserves to wear this Cam Ball, I think of someone like him for sure that has obviously earned his stripes, man. We've been talking about can this team get to the quarterback, and I had got a text from my dad the other day. I mean, he goes, "Well, this team don't have LJ no more. Who's going to go get the quarterback?" And I said, "I don't know, Dad. I don't even know if they really know, but I know they got some guys that they believe in, and we'll see." But I think the main thing that they will wind up doing at some point, I think you're going to see it throughout the year when, depending on certain teams that we play, and they'll adjust. You'll see that 3-man front with more linebackers on the field, because I really do think you have the ability to move guys around with Larry Wirtz, Steven Dix, Sorey, all these guys, man. I think they're so talented. They all know every spot. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to bring some of these linebackers, and that's going to be one of the ways we're going to get pressure. And then, man, I was going to ask you too, everybody's worried, when you do that, though, obviously, you got to be able to, stick in man coverage. But I remember the Ole Miss game last year, and, man, we brought pressure. We couldn't do nothing that day. So when you get into a situation like that, you do know at some point your offense has to be able to. Who was it that said it? Clay? I think he said you have to believe that you can score 35 every time you go out there, or something like that. So we have to realize that. I think as fans sometimes, even though there's going to be some games, there's going to be a game this year where the offense is going to have to pick the defense up, and vice versa, like last year. And so I also hope that our special teams, nobody really talks about it a lot, but I hope that Cam Shanks can make an impact on kickoff and punt return, or who? I think they just put him on punt, Phil. I'm sorry.
No, I think they want him in the slot too. It's just as long as he's healthy. Yeah.
But I think I want him to make a big impact on kickoff return and punt return this year if he can. That would be big for us. Nobody talks about special teams, but how many times has it come back to bite us over the years? Anyways, y'all have a good one.
Well, it's a couple of things that might have been missing in some cases. The idea of a running back that can take it to the house from anywhere, and a true threat for your punt returner. And Shanks is preseason All-American on many of the publications. So, I think, he's still one of those unknowns. I would think that'll translate though from UAB to Arkansas punt returning. And in terms of Cam Ball and, the idea of wearing number 5. Now, he got number 5 when he came here. Who knows if they expected big things from him. When you hear this from Cam Ball, yeah, number 5 works.
Man, I'm a big loyalty guy. My father and my mother has always instilled in me, stay down for the come up. And it all started with me in my high school, out of, about East Point, Tri-Cities. I want to say I won like 6 games my whole high school career. I had the opportunity to go to IMG Academy. I had the opportunity to transfer, but I didn't. I wanted to be a legend coming out of my high school. And, God blessed me with 42 Division I scholarships out of high school. The word, like I said, stay down for the come up. And, good things come to those who wait. And I feel like God has led me with my journey here. And nothing but good things have came, since being here. And I had opportunities to leave, but it was no point to just pack up and go for a matter of a year and so, and lose all the connections and relationships I built in this state, and just the people. I love the people here in Arkansas, not only in Fayetteville, but I've been all around Arkansas, and I just love this state in general.
Sounds like somebody that definitely loves the state of Arkansas, and he's played well enough. That's for sure. Going to need big things from Cam on the at defensive tackle this year. Question out of Hog Wild. Matt asks, who was more overrated in South Bend, Ron Powlus or Jimmy Clausen? You remember Powlus?
Yeah.
4-year starter for Notre Dame, was anointed as good as was he anointed? Was it Beano Cook that called him? He was going to be the greatest college quarterback of all time when he was coming out of high school in Pennsylvania.
Man, those are the lost years. It's like when John Lennon went to L.A. for 2 years. They call those the lost years. I don't know if either one of them was ever as good as Joe Cool. I mean, we forget Joe Montana was a quarterback at Notre Dame.
Yeah, so was Tony Rice. Favorite Notre Dame quarterback of all time? Do you have one?
My favorite player is Jerome Bettis, number 6. For if you're going to say, Rocket Ismail maybe, but if you're saying Notre Dame, I did like Jeff Samardzija, the receiver they had that ended up being a pitcher for the Cubs and the Giants. Brady Quinn wasn't really a fan of his, but
Tim Brown, I was like Brown.
Tim Brown, but Jerome Bettis, that would have been my favorite Notre Dame guy.
Yeah, that's right. Hog Wild said Beano said he was going to win 4 Heismans.
Did he win 4 games?
Yeah, I think he won a few games, not as many as I think was expected of him. That's the same with Clausen too, And the thing about Paulus, he went from being anointed as a 4-time Heisman Trophy winner coming out of high school to not being drafted into the NFL. Clausen was at least a second-round pick and denied Cam Newton number 2. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline here on Halftime. Quick break. It's 3 up, 3 down. When we return here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
This is Phil Steele, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
How much more difficult has your job gotten in the last 24, 36 months with portal, with all these things, and just keeping everybody on the right roster?
Ridiculous compared to 5 years ago, especially with the 2 transfer portals. And the one thing I noticed this year, guys, a lot of players that came in the winter portal were leaving at the end of the spring portal, for crying out loud.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hardee's invites you to fill your days with a little more handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch biscuits.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
They say choice is the ultimate luxury, and now it's yours with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic Box, loaded with lavish classics, the $7 Supreme Box, packed with decadent faves, or the $9 Discovery Box, now featuring the indulgent cheesy street chalupas. That's Lux. For less. The $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
Coast summers nipping on the run. Now the beachfront nights, 5,000 thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Got a little jingle.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play Store.
So much younger than today. I never needed anybody's help in any way. Now these days are gone out and I'm so self-assured. Fine, a genuine, I'm opening up the doors. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please help me?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, second hour. It's a Monday, and so we get into 3 up, 3 down. And I'll start here with, this is going to, Matt can't wait for this to start again because this goes along with John Gruden wanting to get back into coaching, Jimbo Fisher wanting to get back into coaching, Nick Saban apparently, and 3 weeks ago everybody was, he's going to get back into coaching too. Well, now this guy too, on Pardon My Take, announced that he wants to get back into coaching.
So you do want to get back into coaching football, correct?
You know what?
Time?
Yeah, I think it's time. I'm feeling a little bit. I haven't made the decision totally, but, I got my boys settled, coaching football now, and it's been 4 years since I've been out, and I'm getting the itch again.
So what does the last 4 years look like? Have you just been kind of laying low? Have you been watching football? Have you been talking to anyone about football? Because you are a football guy through and through.
Yeah.
It had to have been weird I would imagine that was one of the first times in your life since you were a little kid that you took a break from football.
Yeah. It was... I didn't know what was going to happen. We went down, one of my sons, Cody, and I went down to Miami, and Mario Cristobal has been great to me, who I coached at the University of Miami. And we asked him if we could get Cody a job as a young analyst. And he said, yeah, come on up. And Cody said, Daddy, Miami's a big city. You mind moving down here? I said, I'll volunteer.
Matt, they're all lining up. They're making sure they get it. They let everybody know before the season starts that they want to get back into coaching. The list just continues to grow. Gruden, Saban, we're joking about Saban. People are saying that for him. I'm just putting him on the list because everybody's going to bring him up. Gruden, Saban, Jimbo, and Ed O getting back into coaching. You know how this goes. Every loss, these names get brought up.
Urban Meyer's next to follow.
Oh, man, I don't know if I heard that from him yet, but you're right. He would absolutely be next on the list. Let's get Lou Holtz back into coaching, too.
Sweet Lou.
All right, so that's my first up. My first down is to Juan Mejia. Now, this is actually an amazing catch, but he had to go down to make the catch. It's an amazing play on a little flare pop-up on the infield that there would be an infield fly roll if you had a couple of men on base and less than 2 outs. Mejia is the pitcher, so he delivers this great pitch. It's a little pop-up towards the first baseman, but not tall enough for the first baseman to get underneath it in camp. So Mejia makes the catch. The first baseman basically just clotheslines him, knocks him over, and he held onto the ball. It was just actually could have played wide receiver. It was one of the best, more entertaining catches of the year, and because he went down, he'll get a call for it.
All right. My first up goes to Scotty Scheffler. Phil, you'd played a bit about him in the last hour, but 15 under wins the BMW championship by 2 strokes over the Scot, Robert McIntyre. I like Robbie McIntyre. He's a fun player, but no question who the number 1 golfer in the world is, and that's Scotty Scheffler. Adds another one to the mantle. My first down goes to this date, August 18th, 1969. They were filming a film named, it was called Ned Kelly, and your boy Mick Jagger was accidentally shot on the set.
What?
They remade this with Heath Ledger years ago. And, I celebrate Heath Ledger's entire catalog. But yeah, Mick Jagger took a stray. Was fine. Ended up being fine. Obviously, he's still, you think a bullet can get him? I don't think so.
But how can you tell, too? Is there any difference between the reaction of Mick Jagger getting shot and him dancing? Because it would probably look the same.
At least he's light on his feet.
Yeah. All right. I got a second up. My second up is to not knowing what kind of car Taylor Green drives this year. Was it a Camaro or a Corvette that KJ drove?
Corvette, wasn't it?
I couldn't remember. I knew it was a Chevy.
Yeah.
But I walked by it just about every game in the players' parking lot, and people paid attention to that car because the thing stood out. South Carolina quarterback Lenoris Sellers, who has a valuation, an NIL valuation, according to On3 of $3.7 million. Sellers was in a commercial with a law firm in Columbia where he is showing off his brand new 2025 Mercedes-Benz G63, valued at $186,100. It's not, the kid already's got a target on his back because he's a Heisman hopeful. He's a first-round hopeful. He's a great quarterback who got the potential to be an amazing quarterback this year in his second season starting for South Carolina. But now we know the kind of car he drives. And when I knew the type of car that the Arkansas quarterback drove, that was not a very good season. Second down goes to immediately dismissing Major League Baseball realignment as something that will be bad for the sport, or the idea that Rob Manfred's trying to kill the game. I think you got to think a little big right now with baseball. And I've thought this for a while, that we're going to get to a place where you are having some sort of radical realignment. Now, 20 years ago, there was a thought that this could happen, and they killed the plan. I just don't think baseball was ready for it then. You have to stop using the word tradition with baseball, because the game has changed so dramatically in the last few years. This would end up being a final piece of it. This was Rob Manfred on last night's ESPN telecast.
Expansion, realignment, expanded playoffs. I mean, can you see that down the road?
I can. I think that the first two topics are related in my mind. I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity to geographically realign. I think we could save a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel. And I think our postseason format would be even more appealing for, entities like ESPN, because you'd be playing up out of the East, out of the West, and that 10 o'clock time slot where we, sometimes get Boston, Anaheim, would be two West Coast teams. And that 10 o'clock slot that's a problem for us sometimes becomes a real opportunity for our West Coast audience. So I think, I think the owners realize that there's demand for Major League Baseball in a lot of great cities, and we have an opportunity to do something good around that expansion.
So one thing, the only time he ever mentioned fans is the idea that there are fans not being served in some markets that want teams, thinking of Portland, Nashville, Charlotte, Montreal, just to name four. But he never mentions fans when it comes to the idea of radically realigning the sport. Talks about wear and tear on the players. I think players wouldn't mind the idea of East and West, and probably do away with the names National and American League, which truly doesn't really mean anything anymore because they're not separate entities. Hockey changed years ago. They used to have a Campbell and a Wales conference. Now it's East and West. Football changed decades ago. Hello, AFL into the NFL. The NBA, they changed dramatically in the 70s. Baseball can make a dramatic change, and it can be for the better. It can actually maybe create, as much as I like the playoffs, I do like the sense of having the New York teams face off in a playoff series, which can only happen in the World Series right now. So I'm not sure how far off this is, but I never like the idea of just automatically dismissing an idea because it sounds weird, because it sounds like it's completely different, like what you're playing right now. You could look at the idea of the Big Ten with a 2014 playoff, 2018 playoff, and say, well, we don't need that. But then the FCS does a 2014 playoff, and it seems to work really well for them. So, just don't dismiss new ideas because they come off as sacrilegious or against tradition. If you don't change, you die. So that's my second down, Matt.
My second up goes to Liverpool. The Reds, you'll never walk alone. The Egyptian king, Mohamed Salah, scores in extra time, 90th minute +4. They win 4-2, so they'd already had the game. But the significance is he's now scored a goal in 8 straight openers, which is a record in that long storybook of Liverpool. But eight straight times, the opening game of the season, he has put one past the keeper. So let's go Reds. Then my down, I guess it goes to Xavier Sorey's hamstring. Let's get that hamstring better. Let's make sure he's fine. Whatever you got to do, because that's our bell cow. That's our guy. That's the dude, so to speak. He's a team captain, team leader. Let's try to get him right, so he can fly around on Saturdays.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Alabama. They've announced Jam Miller is supposed to be their starting quarterback. Their starting running back. They're the leading rusher, returning for Alabama from last year. So he's had surgery after an injury over the scrimmage, and he's going to miss a number of games. That's supposed to be RB1 for Alabama, and you figure they got somebody behind him who's maybe not quite as good, but maybe just as good. That's Alabama. If Xavier Sorey is to miss some time, there is no linebacker that steps right into that role and has the same kind of physical attributes. And here's the other idea too, Matt. If we're trying to push the thought of Taylon Green in the second year of the offense under Bobby Petrino meaning something, and I think it does, this is Xavier Sorey's second year in the Travis Williams defense, and they're going to be dialing up blitzes specifically because of his speed and ability. If Xavier Sorey's not healthy and ready to go, and I don't worry about the Alabama A&M game, but the Arkansas State game, the defense could be in real trouble. I got a third up, and my third up is to Alyssa Orange, who's going to join us tomorrow as usual on a Tuesday here on Halftime. Her brand new venture, which is part of which is part of Bo Mattingly's new Pinecone company, Pinecone Lane. Varsity Vibe is now live. It's going to be focusing specifically on Arkansas high school athletics. And she's got Greenwood offensive lineman Cody Taylor as the first guest. It's available anywhere you download your podcast. And I'm excited to talk about this new venture, Varsity Vibe, with Alyssa tomorrow when she joins us at 11:30 in the morning. Third down. Now, I talked about the Banana Ball event practically all week, just leading into it Friday and Saturday at Baum Walker Stadium. And here's the thing, as I always said, just like, don't show up for this event expecting that it's baseball and then rip it for not being baseball. I also view it the other way around. People that text in or call in or try to make a point that you got to find a way to take something from Banana Ball and the experience and translate that to the game experience at Arkansas. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. These are totally different sort of productions. I don't think that there's much you can take from something that is as spectacle-like as Banana Ball and translate it to the game experience at Arkansas or really many other places. Because the game is always going to be the thing, always going to be the thing at a major college sporting event or at a major league sporting event. The game isn't necessarily the thing with Banana Ball. It's the spectacle of it. It's the you don't know what's about to happen next, and the idea that fans have an influence on it. You're going to wait for the rest of your life if you think that fans will have an influence on the things that take place on the field and the sporting arena that you're watching. Banana Ball is a singular thing. There is nothing like it. There won't be anything like it, and I don't think they'll be taking much from Banana Ball to translate to the experience of being in a professional ballpark, an NFL stadium, or Razorback Stadium either. There you go.
Yeah, my third up goes to the fad that is Banana Ball. I got to see Peyton Hillis get out there, former teammate of mine. I'm a big-time Peyton Hillis guy. We all know what happened a couple summers ago. He had to rush into the water and save his kids and almost lost his life. So, man, that was just cool to the fact to see him healthy and out there having fun. And
he hit the ball first pitch.
Well, he's a natural athlete. Phil, best hand-eye coordination, one of the best. He's top 5 when it goes best eye-hand coordination of athletes I played with. He's on the list. And who has a better smile than Peyton Hillis? Get out of here. People might have it as good as a smile as Peyton Hillis, but he's got it going on. That's for sure. And then
he's got the biceps still too.
Dude. He looks like he could form tackle. He might have a year of eligibility if we need a defensive lineman. He'd be out there. Your boy Phil for my third down. I know Captain Comeback Yimmy Harbaugh was asked about all the stuff because it just came out again. Sanctions down, and I quote, like I said to you last year, not engaging. So we're not engaging.
I think he'd just hold up a sign for the rest of the season. Just wear it around his neck. Not engaging.
I like it.
You know exactly what it is. It's going to be a waste of breath from the reporters. That's 3 up, 3 down. And we'll do it again next week and every Monday until the end of time. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Back in a moment. This is Halftime.
I admire you guys so much. Matt, you're my favorite Arkansas Razorback up there with D-Mac. And Phil, you're the best announcer for college baseball, I think, in the country.
This is Halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're brought to you today by GNC. Hope I'm not interrupting your workout routine, but the GNC Live Well sale is going on right now. Buy one, get one, 50% off everything in the store and at GNC.com. That's right, everything. Protein, pre-workout, creatine, vitamins, supplements, and so much more. Go for it all and don't miss out. At GNC, nutrition isn't just the department, it's the whole freaking store. You got goals, GNC has results. Visit your local GNC store or go to GNC.com.
This is Halftime.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials. You know, Thursday is my personal favorite night. We're here every Thursday. Bucket special, hard to beat.
You gotta love the bucket special. I mean, you come in, you can get 5 domestic bottles in a bucket for $15, and then you get to hang out at Papa's. It's a great deal.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Forest Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Forest Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at GoForestGrid.com. That's GoForestGrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at GoForestGrid.com. Forest Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Looking for a roofing company you can trust? Meet 3 Ladies in a Roof. We're locally owned, certified, insured, and bonded roofing company. 3 Ladies in a Roof can handle everything from start to finish with honesty, quality, and integrity. A hard-working company that knows roofing. Go with the crew that gets it done right. 3 Ladies in a Roof stands behind their roof so you can stand under it. Call 501-658-3193. 3 Ladies in a Roof, helping you with all your roofing needs. Ready to serve the River Valley.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
face left. At the cans like I knew in the side of that. On the phone, jack door. Feel like it's like a record teenage off the door. Making it clean, it's not from teasing. Face
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Looking on our Lewis Automotive text line, Jesse asked, what do you think the offense looks like this year? Air raid, bell cow run first, pro-like balanced offense, or run to open up the pass?
It's going to be very balanced. There's the thing that you don't want to get into this is, and what did we struggle with last year, Phil? It was when everybody knew we were passing. But Petrino he's crafty, man. He's clever. He's just as good at calling an offensive game plan as anybody. And it will definitely be a balance. I think we're going to run the ball a lot better this year than we did last year. Now, what does that translate to as far as the offense? Do we score more points? Does it open up the passing game? Yeah, I think by the fact that we can run the ball better, we're going to throw the ball better too. Won't get sacked as much. Your play action, being able to throw the ball down the field off of a play action that we couldn't do last year. Those little things I think are all going to be better. I think we'll be to whatever, like you said, you can make the numbers say whatever you want to, but aesthetically, I think the offense is going to be better this year than it was last year, and in every aspect.
Well, a thing that I'd like to see from last year to this year, and this is, everybody will always point to the offensive line as reasons why the studs didn't get fed. If the term that I hear from the Petrino philosophy so often is feed the studs, there were a couple of studs that just never got fed last year. And you see Tesla scores another touchdown. I know it's preseason, so I'm not quite sure how that translates once the regular season begins. But all the guys, when they're Penei Sewell, when they're being interviewed, the Detroit players, and they're talking about rookies or guys that are going to pop that haven't been on the team, they're talking Isaac Tesla. Now, I know Luke Haz is out for a while with Ole Miss, but when he's healthy, he's a real weapon. He's a real stud. The studs didn't get fed enough last year, Matt. And was that on Petrino? Was that on not having them, not having Tesla in some certain packages?
Should have had him playing Broden's. That's exactly right. I think you look back on it, and coaches make mistakes from time to time, and that's okay. We all make mistakes from time to time. But when you look back on it, Tesla should have been in Broden's spot. And then so you think about some of those passes that for whatever reason, he just didn't excel. And I think back to a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not talking bad about the kid. It's just he wasn't good at playing receiver. And you look at not personally. Well, he might be a fine human, but your job playing receiver is to catch the ball. And what Clay said was in practice he would shine. He would make a play in practice once a week that's like, whoa, we don't have other guys that can do that. And I've been around players like that. And as a coach, it's so hard. It's so hard because that's what you do. You see somebody make a play in practice. Well, let's translate that. And it didn't translate over. So you're and then so Tesla's already in a different spot. But if you could have done that last year, we would 100% won. We would have beat Oklahoma State. Probably win one more game, so we'd have had 2 more wins last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it is that we actually watched the real Bobby Petrino offense last year. The tight end didn't get utilized very much. You didn't feed all the studs.
Didn't really run the ball great. You never really thought, man, we can run the ball anytime we want to. Couldn't pass when everybody knew we were going to pass.
He didn't have that same offense running that 1 year at A&M. Heck, he wasn't even allowed to use his own terminology. You feel like Bobby Petrino may be like, all right, I'm ready to actually see my offense run for the first time in 3 years since I was a head coach and could make all the decisions. 877-377-6963. Sean thinks if the offense is as good as we think it's going to be, then the defense will be that much better by not being on the field as much. Well, that's a nice way to think about it, but so much of that has to do with how you score.
You got to have bodies too. If your D line, if you're depleted, if you don't have any guys, man, it's going to show. It's going to we talk about this Arkansas State and Memphis game. I mean, Ole Miss is in between that, Phil. That'd be the telling. Alabama A&M, that'd tell. If Alabama A&M rushes for over 100 yards on us this year, that means every single team that we play after that is going to rush for 100. They'll notice that and they'll do it. So if the first couple weeks, whatever you do wrong, whatever shows up on tape or you have a weakness or a deficiency, I promise you the next team's going to try to exploit it as well.
Kiffin's pretty good at exploiting a weakness.
I think Kiffin's a top 5. If you were to say Petrino and Kiffin, Phil, are top 5, so that leaves 3 other spots left to say who are the other top coordinators in the SEC. But I think Kiffin and Petrino are both top 5 coordinators and I know Kiffin's the head coach, but we know who's calling the plays there.
See, and I also wonder too, so you can look at this any way you want. It's like you can make statistics mean what it is you want them to mean. If your offense is really good and they can, extend a drive, they can get into the end zone when you need a touchdown, but your defense struggles. Well, the idea that your defense doesn't have to be on the field for very long if your offense is good. But what if the defense can't get off the field themselves? What if you can't stop them on 3rd down 5 times in a 95-yard drive? These things can and will work both ways. And if you're talking about not knowing who your starter is going to be next to Cam Ball on at defensive tackle and talking about your top linebacker right now not practicing for 5 days because of some, quote, procedure, unquote, that we don't know what it is, man, right now it looks like you might be a little bit weak up the middle early in the season. I know they're saying that Xavier would be playing if it was a game, but that also comes across to me as coach speak sometimes. If you have a procedure in the middle of August, something's going on there, and something that needs to be fixed or cleaned up or just rest, and you got to have him ready for A-State first and foremost.
Got to have him ready for A-State. That Ole Miss game is going to be huge. But, yeah, you hope that he can go because the game shape is what the thing is, Phil. It's like, yeah, you're ready to go, but you got to go game. You got to be into the game to get that extra shape. And not being able to play in the first game of the year, we don't know that yet if he won't. But last year, our number 1 offensive weapon didn't play in the first game of the year and went on to be an All-American. So maybe there's an homage there.
877-377-6963 is the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Still got another few weeks left to take advantage of 20% off your first order at Roback.com. If you use the code RUSH25 at checkout, it's through the end of the month. It's Roback.com, RHOBACK.com. Got specially licensed Razorback gear. I've got my Baum-Walker Stadium shirt ready for watching maybe some baseball practice since the guys will be at Baum-Walker later on in early September. You can also check out the American Summer Collection at Roback.com. Golfers out there, check out Roback's Delta pants and shorts. Going to look great on or off the golf course. It's Roback.com. Roback, where action meets comfort. In a moment, we're back. We'll wrap up hour number 2. This is Halftime.
The second thing we talked about at halftime is
This is Halftime.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
Call Ted McAvoy and Van Buren.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
He was a she was terminally pretty. And he had a handsome he had a reputation as a cruel dude. They said he was ruthless. They said he was cruel. They had one thing in common. They were good and bad. She said, the lights are turning red.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
We got to say bye to C Movie for the rest of the day. We're gonna have Landry's dad joining us for the third hour of halftime. That's C45. So C Movie.
He said he doesn't care if they go if the Hogs go 0-12. He's a dad. He's happy.
Did you get that, everybody? Colton now is rooting for Arkansas to go 0-12.
Oh, he's not rooting for it.
Nah, literally
that's what I heard.
Hoping for it. He is rooting for a winless season. I can't wait to ask him this when he sits down in that chair. But I got to ask you first. Are you a Halle Berry guy now? After what? Did you watch the movie? Did you watch Swordfish or any of her movies? What'd you see?
Man, I saw some.
You're more of a Don Cheadle guy?
Some pretty women in there. There's no doubt she's got a great body. There's no doubt about that.
You saw a lot of Halle Berry in that movie, didn't you?
Yes.
You still need a really pretty face.
And my honest takeaway is John Travolta is a great actor. I mean, he can act with the best of them.
That's great. I send them to watch Swordfish.
And I won't
so
mention
he can
my
have
other
a better
take.
appreciation of Halle Berry, and he comes back thinking Travolta needs to win an Oscar.
You got to watch Face Off.
Yeah.
The biggest cinematic reveal in history of television or movies.
It's amazing. The fact that they were able to act like each other is just incredible. Wait until you watch that one. Oh, all right. So Swordfish was good enough.
That was a good movie. I mean, it really was. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the whole movie.
Chose not to watch the program. Chose not to watch Catwoman. I don't think Catwoman was really very well reviewed at all. Monsters Ball, you chose not to watch that. It's all right. I'm just glad that you at least watched it and that you have an appreciation for. Sounds like you got an appreciation for the neck down and nothing else.
I had to Google how the ending actually played out. I didn't know they faked their deaths in the movie.
Spoiler alert
in the movie. Well,
gracious.
Everybody but me has seen this, right?
It's 25 years after. I think the statute of limitations is gone. No spoiler alerts after 25 years. Is that about right? I think it's about right. Well, we'll have you back tomorrow. So good for you for watching. You'll get a passing grade. I know we're doing pass fail. We're not doing A through E. So we'll figure out what next week is. Right now, I have no idea what it is. Just sooner or later, Matt, he'll insult one of the greatest actresses of all time, and we'll find reasons to force him to watch Elizabeth Shue movies next.
Hey, I'll agree with them. That Johnny Travolta, man, he might have found himself a career.
It's a pretty freaking good milkshake. 877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Hotline. We're heading into hour number 3 of halftime. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, 20 minutes from now. Otherwise, wide open into hour number 3 with Daddy-O joining us right after this.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It's the all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet at Golden Corral. Enjoy the endless breakfast buffet with carved ham, tender pork chops, pancakes, French toast, made-to-order eggs and omelets, and, of course, the biscuits and gravy. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And from 8 to 9:30, seniors get all this and a drink for $10.29. Golden Corral, 1801 South Waldron, Fort Smith. Order online at goldencorral.com for curbside pickup or delivery. Golden Corral, the only one for everyone.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Save no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
What do Formula One, the Peanuts cartoon strip, and Jay Leno all have in common with Crabtree RV Center? Yes, you guessed it. They are all celebrating 75 in 2025. Crabtree RV Center is so thrilled to have seen 75 wonderful years of business in the River Valley, and we want to celebrate with all of you. Come in today and take advantage of our 75-year anniversary sale going on every day at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas. Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, parts, and rentals. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for 75 years.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine, a slight chance of a shower or storm, a high this afternoon into the upper 90s with a heat index near 105. Chance of a few showers or storms tonight, low 70s, and another round of scattered showers and storms on Tuesday. High will be right around the upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The Razorbacks have beaten the #1 team in the country.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 12 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Where's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one race back.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
1:01 in the afternoon. Welcome back. Halftime, third hour on a Monday. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Daddy O. Landry's dad is joining us here on halftime, too. Matt, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. The dad loses his identity, just becomes the kid's father and nothing else for a few years. How does he look? I don't want to hear from Colton right now. When you're looking at this man who's not worked for a week, but has been learning what it's like to be a dad for a newborn, what's the look in his eyes? How's he looking?
He looks like he aimed for the moon and hit the stars.
That's about as good as it can be. Congratulations, Daddy-O. And how are you feeling, C45?
Phil, Matt, good to be with you guys this afternoon. I'm feeling great. What I just went through, man, we got all the texts the last couple of weeks about advice for, new dad and things like that. And I sort of brushed them off. I'd heard them all before. They're all the same adages. You won't get any sleep. Your wife's in charge, all these things. And, that's all very much true. But it's been the most beautiful and just surreal experience of my entire life. And I'm obviously very, very, very thankful to do it. My wife is like a total savage. She's a beast. And I am the luckiest idiot in the entire world. So it was a beautiful experience from start to finish. And the little guy is perfect. Landry Carter Little. We're going by his middle name because my wife goes by her middle name. So she just wanted to inflict the same trauma on him is what she said. So, but Landry Carter Little, and that just kind of flows better. So, but we're calling him Carter.
So he's gonna go by Carter. I gotta get this right. Do you go by your middle name too?
No, I don't. I mean, my middle name is same as my dad's middle name, but I go by my first. So,
all right. Yeah. I don't actually. Do I have any friends that go by their middle name? Anybody want to call me Harold or Harry at some point? That's my middle name. Let's just stay with Phil. Matt, what are you? What's
Harold
yours?
the Magnificent?
Now that
Harold
would be
the Great.
No, that would be my Harry Potter wizard name.
Yeah, that would be your magician name, Harold the Amazing. No, I used to be amazing. Now I'm great.
You can call me Harry if we're friends, though. It's Harry. Okay, you guys are nasty out there. What's your middle name?
Matthew Paul. Matthew Paul Jones is mine. That's my name. Yeah.
It sounds like a pope's name almost.
It does.
Paul, yeah.
You could have been a pope. Matthew Paul the
too tall for popes. I could. Too
well,
tall.
they can make a hat that fits you,
and more of a Well,
you'd be the first pope who's got a beard as long as his hat.
I wonder if I think they're like the Yankees. I don't think they allow you to wear beards in that priesthood up there. I think
no facial hair, no jewelry, no earrings, and numbers 1 through 12 are also retired too. So you'd have to be Matt Paul the 13th.
Don't you have
nobody
to have,
starts with a first?
Don't you have to have 3 miracles, or you have to be a saint? Like, what would be the things? I don't think I have any miracles on. Miracle on Markham. There's one. But
There's the one. You kind of a big part of that.
I would need 2 more though.
Yeah, that's the first and the last miracle of your life. That's too bad.
I peaked way too early.
Let's go to Caleb in Greenwood, who's here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. By the way, all phone calls this hour must start with congratulations, Daddy-O. So, Caleb, go for it.
Hey, Phil. How y'all doing?
We're good. Just a certain thing you got to say to start. Congratulations, Daddy-O, then have at it.
Congrats, Daddy-O. That's awesome. It's awesome. You can't beat it.
Thank you, Caleb. Appreciate you, boss.
Not to change it off football season, because don't get me wrong, I'm ready to head up to the hill for football, but I have a baseball question, Phil.
Okay.
I got the schedule for next year leaked to me, and I'm just curious if you've seen it and what you think.
I have not seen next year's schedule. Does it look identical to this year? Are you playing the same teams? Can you tell us how you found this information? Because this basically will dictate my life from February through June.
Not even close. If we don't win between 20 and 23 SEC games, I'll be disappointed.
Oh, boy. Well, I know Missouri's on the schedule because they're going to play Missouri until the end of time. Outside of that, I was just kind of hoping Texas would be there. And, we didn't play Oklahoma. We didn't play Mississippi State last year. I'd like to see those 2 teams. Do you divulge the whole thing here?
No Texas, no LSU, no Tennessee, no A&M, no Vandy.
Well, that sucks. I mean, they should be playing Texas. They should be playing LSU every year. But, of course, they won't because this is a 16-team league. Why is the SEC trying to kill college baseball? Huh? Is that the direction I'm supposed to go here?
Good question. Yeah. No, yeah. We get Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Florida, and Georgia at home.
All right. The only thing I know is they're opening up in the Rangers Stadium next year against
we'll be down
Big 12
there for that
schools.
as well.
Well, that's great. I know that would come out sometime soon. Usually the schedule comes out sometime in September, early October. But yeah, and no one's talking about changing the SEC baseball schedule. We don't have arguments between the SEC and the ACC as to how many league games you should play, because I guess everybody plays 30. Think they'll be good next year, Caleb? You know how I do it. Is Van Horn the coach? Yeah, they'll be fine.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate you taking my call.
Okay, thanks, Caleb. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
It's always nice to know what the schedule's going to look like way ahead of time, because that is my whole life. But Caleb now Caleb knows where I'm going to be before I know where I'm going to be. How'd that thing work out there? 877-377-6963. Who else out there goes by their middle name? Ryan in Prairie Grove says he goes by his middle name. Ooh, Jody, Matt, he's got an idea for you. You could have initials for your name. You don't have to be Matt. You could be MP. People would mix you up with the military police. It actually works. MP, that flows. MP Jones.
My grandpa, I've told you this story probably 20 times on air, Phil, but the first game I went to, Cubs Cardinals at Old Busch Stadium, but my grandpa's name was Paul. His first name was Paul Wadey.
See, I'm Philip Harold. My father's father, the only grandparent I never met, he was Harold Phillip.
Yeah, nice. Keep it in the family. It's very important.
I don't know too many Harolds these days. Harold Miner, one of the last athletes I remember that was a Harold. You think his teammates called him Harry?
Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, he plays Harold the Great, and then he's a magician. I used to be great, but now I'm Harold the Amazing. It's like
there's a great song out there. I'm just wild about Harry, and Harry's just wild about me.
Your boy Harry Styles. There you go. One Direction.
Yeah, but he's different.
He is different. That is true.
Definitely different. He's way different. Ryan asks, how can we play Texas? How can we not play Texas and LSU every year? There you go, Ryan. It's the spoils of playing in a 16-team league. It's the conferences. The conferences are the reason that college sports is so messed up. The conferences are the reason that college football is in the position that it's in, where you have one of the major conferences floating an idea that's so antithetical to anything else that anybody else is coming up with. I mean, you think that there's You think there's a gulf between the SEC and the Big Ten? It's getting wider and wider and wider. You went from a place where you're having automatic qualifiers, 4 for each league. The SEC says, no, we like it how it is right now. We're going to do 5+1 and then at larges. And now the Big Ten says, let's do 24 teams instead. And the Gulf gets wider before they have to figure this thing out.
It used to be the Gulf of Mexico. Now it's the Gulf of America, apparently.
And now it's the Gulf of college football, in which it's the conferences. The conferences are the reason that we're in this position. The conferences are the reason why we've had this ridiculously stupid realignment, which has made college football even more confusing, and where it's the only sport, legitimately the only sport, where they can't figure out how they're going to crown a champion. Everybody else has this figured out. Everybody else in sports has this figured out, from professional sports all the way to every other level of college football. They have it figured out. College football FBS, completely screwed up. The conferences are to blame. Big Keith is here. Hi, Big Keith. What's going on?
Big Keith up in the house. Congratulations, Daddy-O.
Thank you, Big Keith.
Well done.
Hey, Matt. How you doing? What's going on, Phil?
You heard me. I'm just going off on the conferences right now. Thank you.
Yeah, well, hey, I got something to say about that, but first I want to say this. I'm surprised he didn't name the baby after him, because my mom did that with me. But, you know, the strange thing is I had the same name as my mailman. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. Anyways, the conference is going off in the conference. How long do you think it is before we take the ACC, or at least pick it out bone dry? You know, I mean, I see that coming in the future. And hey, Matt, you had a lot of miracles, man. It was a miracle you got so many wins at Arkansas. You know, with our history, and you became a pro. That's a miracle. There you go. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, appreciate that, Big Keith. I'm not quite sure where he's going half the time. 877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Hotline. Just back to where I was there for a moment. You can always point to the idea of a commissioner of a league is supposed to do what's best for the league. Now, I think they do what's best for the owners, but they all move when the decision is made, the whole industry moves in lockstep. In college football, the commissioners of each conference do what's best just for their conference. You do something that's good for the SEC, and you're Greg Sankey and the commissioner and the athletic directors of this conference. What's good for the SEC doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for ACC, anybody else who's part of college football. But those leagues, they're doing what's best for them. What's best for the ACC, for the SEC, was growing, was bringing in 2 gigantic brands, and locking them in until the end of time. What was best for the Big Ten was, I guess for them, thinking coast to coast was the best idea. You know, the ACC, they had to do things just to stay alive. The Big 12, they had to do things just to stay alive. Those conferences did what was good for them. It's not good for college football. This industry is a mess. College football is a total mess. We still don't know how we're going to choose a champion. They're never going to figure this thing out. Haven't figured it out from the start of college football, and right now they still don't know how they're going to do it. Meanwhile, we got a Super Bowl, we got a World Series, we got an NHL Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals, March Madness, and all those things make sense. College football doesn't make any sense. All right, we'll break in a moment. We have Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joining us. This is Halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
JJ Andrews with us, 2026 Arkansas commit here on the Morning Rush. What is it like as a player to step foot in Bud Walton and knowing that just under a year you're getting a chance to play in one of the best arenas in college basketball?
It's awesome. I love hearing them call the Hogs. You know, I've always dreamed of the moment since I was a kid. You know, I mean, during this process, I never knew where I was really going to land at. But now that I know I'm playing for the Hogs, it's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Don't miss a Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft. Weekdays from 9 to 11
See dealer for details. Buckle up, folks. Road Chevrolet is bringing the sizzle this summer with the Heat is On event. For the next 30 scorching seconds, let me tell you why you can't miss this. How about 0% financing on select new Chevys for well-qualified buyers? Our inventory is on fire, but these deals won't last forever. Need financing? Our team's ready to work faster than you can say Heat Way. Plus, trade-in values are at their peak. Race to Road Chevrolet where the heat is on. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best, hottest prices, period.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan, we are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Are you an electrician that's looking for a smaller, non-corporate job? Well, I'm here in studio with Sloan Walker of Sloan Electric. Sloan, what do you currently have open?
2 journeyman spots open and a 4th-year apprentice. If you have 1 to 2 years experience with those, you'd be a great fit for my company. We do residential, commercial, and industrial installs. Normal working hours are 8 to 4:30, so you can focus on your home life outside of your career. Best way to get in contact with me is just give me a phone call or text at 479-461-4302. Sloan Electric. We can power up together.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
What do Formula One, the Peanuts cartoon strip, and Jay Leno all have in common with Crabtree RV Center? Yes, you guessed it. They are all celebrating 75 in 2025. Crabtree RV Center is so thrilled to have seen 75 wonderful years of business in the River Valley, and we want to celebrate with all of you. Come in today and take advantage of our 75-year anniversary sale going on every day at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas. Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, parts, and rentals. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for 75 years.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Under the blue moon I saw you, so soon you'll take me up in your arms, too late to beg you or cancel it, though I know it must be the killing time, unwillingly mine. Fate up against your will, through the thick and thin, you wait until you give yourself to him.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
A couple of weeks ago, Matt, I don't think you were. I think that you were coming back from the concert in Durant. We had Connor O'Gara on the show, and I introduced him to the idea of chocolate gravy. Didn't sound like he was all that interested in giving. Did you try chocolate gravy in the last 2 weeks, Connor?
Can't say that I ran into it. Can't say that I was looking for it, but I can say that I have not had it.
Okay, at least you know what it is now. And I'm not sure if you knew what it was before then. It looks like some quarterback battles have been figured out here. Tennessee, Ohio State, Syracuse. They have figured out who their starting quarterback is going to be. Hey, at least the Razorbacks haven't had a quarterback battle. We've known that from the very start.
Yeah, you can go in a variety of different directions with a quarterback battle. I tend to think that these teams have these quarterback battles decided well before they ever let the masses know, and there's probably a good chance that these guys like Steve Angeli for Syracuse and Joey Aguilar for Tennessee and Julian Sain at Ohio State, there's a really good chance that they've been getting the majority of the first-team reps for multiple weeks. But, yeah, I mean, you come out and announce it, you get the build-up, how is this guy going to handle it, instead of going into the season opener of like, oh, who's going to be starting, and that's kind of the big distraction. And then what does the leash look like? I get why coaches want to be coy. I get why they want to name a starter, a week out or 2 weeks out. To me, we're still going to judge you based on how you play anyway. So it's kind of all what you make of the opportunity. But yeah, I kind of like that we're going to see Tennessee have this experiment with Joey Aguilar. And I think it's going to be really fascinating for not just Tennessee fans, but for those in the SEC who want to see what a Heupel offense looks like with a post-spring transfer. I think it's going to be a really difficult situation to inherit, but yeah, I'll be here for every second of it.
Hey, Connor, last week we were talking, I forget, Phil, who we were talking, I think it was Brett Dolan. We were talking about the SEC running backs, and has it just fallen off? Is it kind of, have we seen from whatever the NFL, how they've devalued the running back and to maybe high school kids? Are some of the better athletes being receiver now or are playing a different position? But can you tell me who are the top three running backs in the SEC this year, and are they that good?
It's surprising because we're no longer at a place like we were 10 years ago where there are household names galore at running back in the SEC. Now, mind you, we're 2 years removed from it being the first, I believe it was the first time in SEC history that there were a pair of 1,500-yard rushers returning, and Rocket Sanders was one of those, Quinshon Judkins the other. But how they finished their careers speaks to the new nature of the position in the SEC. Both of those guys transferred. That's what's become the running back position. And if you look at it in the SEC, there's a lot of transfers. There's a lot of transfers, and there's a lot of guys who haven't proved themselves yet. There's only one returning rusher in the SEC who had 1,000 yards last year, and it's Trey Wisner at Texas, who a lot of people are like, hey, he might not even be the best guy in his own backfield because C.J. Baxter's coming back off a torn ACL. And that's atypical. I mean, look at media days the last 2 years. You talk about, the total representatives, 48 this year, 48 last year, player representatives, only one of those was a running back. It was Montreal Johnson Jr. It was last year. No running backs at SEC media days this year.
That's wild.
Isn't it? Like, this is the SEC, man. Like, once upon a time, you could be a place like Arkansas and have three guys in your backfield that everybody wants. But it's just different. I think we're a little bit more year to year with it. And maybe the fact that teams aren't willing to commit financially as much to them in this era of the sport speaks to why there's just so much volatility at the position, but it's definitely a different dynamic. I think it's a very fair observation.
I want to ask you one more running back question about a kid that was at Tulane, Malachi Hughes. I know you know him very well. He's going to Oregon. Could he, and Penn State has a couple running backs, and you're looking around at different guys, but I really like his skill set in that Oregon offense. How do you think Hughes does this year?
I think it's going to be awesome. I think Oregon's going to be awesome. I mean, I think at this point, Dan Lanning and his offense coordinator, Will Stein, they have built a bit of blind faith. And it's such a great place to be in college football that only a few programs in college football, Ohio State and Georgia, Alabama during the Saban years, where you can kind of just move on to next year's roster, not worry about the amount of starters returning, and just assume that they're going to be fine. That's kind of the entire Oregon offense. Like, Oregon lost a guy that was supposed to be their best receiver, Evan Stewart, who's a former Texas A&M transfer, former five-star guy, And it's kind of just like, well, they'll probably figure it out. And they'll probably figure it out because they got a guy like Malachi Hughes coming in. They have Dante Moore, who, took a very atypical path throughout his college career, basically redshirting last year after he was playing as a true freshman at UCLA, and he opted for the reset button behind Dylan Gabriel. But, yeah, Oregon is probably going to be able to run for 1,000,000 yards. They're probably going to put up a ton of points. They're probably going to have a chance to be able to win a Big Ten and a national championship. That's just the new expectation with Dan Lanning.
I saw Jam Miller is injured, supposed to be starting running back, leading returning rusher for the Crimson Tide. Now, the thought is, well, they're going to have somebody who might be just as good right behind him. Is Alabama in trouble with Miller hurt?
I think it's significant. I really do. I don't think Alabama's ground game has earned blind faith. I think that you look at what they lost with Justice Haynes. He went to Michigan. I thought he was a better player than Jam Miller last year. And Alabama had an awkward situation with figuring out how to get those guys involved enough while also making sure that they don't just leave Jalen Milroe's legs on the sidelines or, unused in a given game. And I don't think that was necessarily something that Kalen DeBoer succeeded at in year one. And now year two, it's great that he's bringing in Ryan Grubb. One thing that you've kind of wondered about with Ryan Grubb is the ground game. He got fired by the Seahawks because he didn't know how to have a modern NFL ground attack. And so now, he comes into this situation where you think you're going to have a backfield look a certain way, and now you don't. And you're kind of looking back going, well, that's never been the area that they've figured out. Even when they were a national runner-up at Washington, they only had really one running back, and it was Dylan Johnson. And they didn't have a staple of guys that could come in. So I do think it's significant that Alabama lost Jam Miller at least for the season opener against Florida State. If he can return by the start of SEC play, Alabama will play the long game and take it. But it's definitely something worth monitoring.
Hey, what do you think of this? I don't even know if the word is proposal yet. It's an idea that's being floated around the Big Ten. 2018 playoff. And all I can think of is that the gulf between the 800-pound gorillas that rule college football just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it doesn't, this is the only sport, Connor, where they can't figure out how to crown a champion in our entire country. It's the only sport that just can't figure this thing out. And the more that these two competing leagues come up with ideas that are antithetical to each other, then are we ever going to figure out a playoff that actually works or a way to crown a champion that everybody can agree upon and feels equanimical to everybody? Because when I see this idea from the Big Ten, and you can poo-poo the idea and all of that, I know it works in the FCS, but I'm just seeing two leagues that just can't agree on anything.
I think there are two distinctions with what you said. I think there's a difference between figuring something out and not agreeing on it. I think we've figured out a system right now that a lot of people are happy with. Now, what they can't figure out is a way to continue spending in college athletics. They want the way that they want us to spend without necessarily having to create something like this to generate more revenue. And by this, I mean an expanded playoff. And when I saw that tweet on Saturday by Pete Thamel about the Big Ten talking about this idea of a 24-team or a 28-team playoff, I wanted to puke in my mouth. And I'm not always that guy that's anti-expansion, and I've kind of been more adapt or die, accepting that while I wasn't necessarily one that needed to see a 12-team playoff all of a sudden when we went from 4 to 12, I accepted it was probably inevitable because if it wasn't, they were going to leave money on the table. This would be just a slap in the face to college football fans everywhere in ways that we've never seen. Like, to go from 2 teams in the BCS era to play for a national championship as recently as 2013 to be talking about 2026 playing with a 28-team playoff, like, nobody does that. And nobody does that when they have the best regular season there is. It doesn't mean that the postseason is perfect, but I hated that because everybody could see right through it. Like, Brett McMurphy tweeted out, like, what's the ideal number for a college football postseason? And there were 6% of people that said 24 or more. That's it, 6% of people, of 24,000 people that voted on this. College football fans, I hate it in every way, and I hope to God this is not the future of college football.
Hey, Connor, Phil had some sound for us earlier about some different coaches, and it's kind of a unique list, and I just wanted to get your thoughts. And I'm sure all 4 of these coaches could get back into coaching football, but they want to coach at the highest level. Give me your opinion on who you think gets back into coaching college football at the highest level. Jimbo Fisher, John Gruden, Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron. Which one of those coaches gets back coaching at a top level? And I don't think Saban gets back into coaching, but he's on the list. Out of those four, who do you see coaching again?
I could see. I don't think they're going to be FBS head coaches. I could see, I guess, Gruden becoming an FBS head coach at the exact right situation, which, by the way, I don't believe is Arkansas. Just need that one on the record. People lose sight of the fact that John Gruden has not won a postseason football game of any kind since the 2002 season when he won a Super Bowl. But I think that there is clearly a desire that he still has that he's putting out there. Ed Orgeron goes on Pardon My Take, talks about his desire to want to get back into coaching. I could see Ed Orgeron being a defensive line coach somewhere because that's what he did for so many years. Will his ego allow him to do it? Will any of those egos, and I don't even want to include Nick Saban in that category because he's separate, but between Gruden and like this situation now that we're talking about with Jimbo Fisher and his $76 million buyout, and could Ed Orgeron, could these guys actually be assistants? I don't really think they want to, and I don't think they want the competitive disadvantage of being Group of 5 head coaches. And I think power conference coaches, those jobs are harder to get than people realize. And I just would tend to say that none of them are going to get back into being a head coach, but that's probably more of the realistic path. I really think Jimbo Fisher is done coaching. I think he's going to do this ACC network thing, and the market's not going to be there for him, and I think he is truly done. But, yeah, I mean, we're going to keep talking about him because that's just the thing that we do with what could be a really wild coaching carousel over the course of the next few months.
Connor, let's leave it there. Always appreciate you hopping on with us. Thanks a lot. By the time we're visiting again, it'll be game week. That's right. We'll be getting ready for real SEC football finally.
We'll be talking about SEC football. It's already happened, right? Week 1 will be in the books. 2 weeks from now. I mean, we'll have a full weekend to talk about. I'm fired up for that. That gets me excited just thinking about it.
Heck, that weekend we can bring up Texas, Ohio State, Auburn, Baylor, Tennessee, Syracuse, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Arkansas versus Alabama A&M. It's Connor O'Gara with us every other Monday on Halftime. 877-377-6963 to get with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Been over to 46 Steakhouse yet? Steak lovers, you got to get over there. 46 Steakhouse is a steak lover's paradise. If you're craving a perfectly prepared hand-cut steak, 46 Steakhouse delivers a big flavor with every single bite. They'll start, as always, with their famous hot rolls with honey butter. Then there's burgers, sandwiches, and steakhouse salads, and, of course, their famous, massive 46-ounce ribeye. That's 46 Steakhouse, 108 Highway 71, right next to Harps and Alma. It's where every meal is a masterpiece. We're into the home stretch of halftime and back right after this break.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
This is Halftime.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Make hay while the sun shines with Kubota hay equipment from Gray Brothers. Like quality-built Kubota disc hay mowers, known for their durability and beautiful cut. Kubota hay rakes and, of course, the BB Series Kubota round baler. Couple it with Kubota's M Series cab tractor. with 75 to 168 horsepower, and you'll have the prettiest hay on the market with savings from Gray Brothers and special financing from Kubota. Today is your day for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
Check out their Facebook page for a family fun giveaway through August 21st.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Crazy question asking me. This is the craziest party that could ever be. Cause I don't want to see Mama toy, let's go. Mama toy, let's go. Open up your window, let some air into this room. I think I'm choking from the smell of stale perfume. And that cigarette you're smoking, I'll scare you to death. Open the window, sucker, let me catch my breath. Mama told me let's go. Mama told me let's go.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I think we'll be getting some sound from the press conference with Travis Williams for tomorrow's show, but more you're reading into the things that the coaches are saying, the more you're starting to realize defensive line, that's going to be a weakness, or is potentially a weakness of this team. This is a quote, Matt, from T-Will today, speaking on the depth of the defensive line. Quote, "We have to continue to establish depth. We may need some young guys to step up. We have some guys who've played SEC ball, but the depth is a deal that we have to figure out. We'll definitely need some young guys to step up," unquote. You know, I can appreciate the thought of hoping that some young guys are ready to step up. But I don't want to be reliant on the young guys in today's day and age where you brought in older players for the reason that they're older, more mature, have a little bit more to go off of through what they've done in their careers. Do you want to hear that we need the young guys to step up here less than 2 weeks before the first game?
Hey, here's opportunity. I don't know a whole lot about this defensive line unit, but it's an opportunity to step up and get some playing time. What it does, though, Phil, is you don't have a lot of room for error. If one of our big dudes, one of our starters, you need 8 defensive. Let's say 1 or 2 of them get hurt. Oh man, I think there's a movie called Up a Creek Without a Paddle. That's what it'll be like, man. So you need to have at least 8, and injuries are going to happen. So you're hoping that somebody does step up.
On the interior, I think if they're hoping that a young guy will step up, there's a couple of them I think they're looking at. Caleb Bell, a freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia, 6'3", 287, plays on the interior. Caleb James out of Mansfield, Texas, 6'4", 275, also on the interior. Hoping Ian Giffrard can stay on the field longer, at 387. But I know Sam's even talked about from this year that he can be on the field longer than he was last year, but still needs a bit of a blow. 877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Hotline. And Mark sends in a text, which is true about this, because if you're hearing from the defensive coordinator, we'll definitely need some young guys to step up. What he's saying is, I hope somebody plays a little earlier and better than we were expecting. And Mark says hope is not a strategy, and he's right about that.
Well, the thing that you read off, at least their size and weight is plenty big enough to be. Now their strength, you'd like to have them get another year in the college offseason program, but hey, Coach Nutt used to always say by the time the conference game, we'd play 3 non-conference before we'd play a conference game or so, but this year we're going to play 2. But by the time that first conference game gets here, freshmen have to quit playing like freshmen. You can't make freshman mistakes anymore, and that's kind of the thing that freshmen are going to. You're going to make some freshman mistakes. It's just part of it, maturing and understanding the game. But it is. That's all I can take it right now is it's an opportunity. And then maybe you have to design a little different defense. Can we cover guys man coverage? Are you going to blitz the linebackers more? You're going to have to play a safety down in the box. What are you going to do to stop the run? Because if you can't stop the run, Phil, you can't win. You cannot win in the SEC if you can't stop the run. And so hopefully you got to find a way first to stop the run, and then you move on to the pass.
Well, I mean, at least on the good side, it looks like Arkansas is going to be a team that should be able to establish the run and a home run. Or I'm all right calling him a home run hitter. I sometimes wonder, why do I use the term home run hitter to describe somebody that can score a touchdown from anywhere in the field? Do I need to go home run hitter? Or you just say breakaway speed? Aren't these the same things? Yeah. Home run hitter also, to me, goes along with, well, he might strike out a little bit more often than you'd like, which would be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. So let's not go with a home run hitter. Let's go with breakaway speed from anywhere in the field. May end up seeing a lot of rushing yards back and forth at some point this year, Matt, because if you look at teams here, I mean, Ole Miss has had success running against Arkansas in some recent seasons. Notre Dame may be the best running back in the country. Tennessee, not only they're going to have a great offense, but they could run it last year. A&M isn't Le'Veon Moss, the running back.
Love that dude.
Pretty good.
He's a beast.
LSU, I'm not sure what it is that I'm sure they'll run the ball. With Texas, I mean, that's Wisner. That's a big-time running back. One of the guys that's one of the best in the SEC. And as far as Missouri, I'm not too sure on them. By then, hey,
Missouri has a top 3 running back in the SEC. I was looking down the list, preparing for fantasy football draft. I don't know his name.
That's Saturday, isn't it?
I don't know I can't remember his name, but Missouri had a guy that was like top 3 as far as running. And you think back to 2 years ago, Phil, that running back that was the walk-on, he was one of the best running backs in the country that year.
Schrader.
Yeah, Schrader.
And that's who it is that they're replacing. Seth's right. If they can't stop the run, it'll be coaching search season. Yeah,
it won't be a bowl game. That's the thing. If you can't stop the run, you can get 6 wins out of your head.
We bring it up, Cam Newton, and the fact that he's having his number officially retired. And I was going back and looking at Newton's legendary Heisman National Championship season. And you remember the game Arkansas played against Auburn that year, which was in Auburn. That was the most points scored in an Auburn game all year long. Hogs scored 43 against them. That would have beaten just about anybody except the Cam Newton-led team, because you couldn't, well, it's different with Newton. I mean, you couldn't stop him running. You couldn't stop him from throwing. But I think of what I think is the strength of Arkansas this year. And it's hey, 43 last year wouldn't have won you all the games. It usually should win you a football game. Wasn't enough against Oklahoma State. And I just keep coalescing around this idea here that this offense, I think, is going to be majorly improved. I think this offense could end up being a problem for teams across the SEC, and that's even some of the really good teams in the SEC. But just reading the tea leaves, and the tea leaves are the things that the coaches are saying to us, and those little moments of honesty about something that's negative. You know, they don't want to admit these things. But when the right question is asked in the right way, they can admit these things. Thin on the defensive line right now, and Travis is talking right now about we need to continue to establish depth. That's what spring ball is for. And by now, you would like that depth to be figured out. You need those young guys, and that's where they're trying to figure it out. It's going to be a fun football season, Matt, because you know what those games are like. If you're in a football, and I'm sure you played in a few of these, if there's over 100 points scored, because that Auburn-Arkansas game with Newton and Ryan Mallett and Tyler Wilson played in that game too, that was over 100 points, 108 to be exact. That's quite a football game. That's the kind of game that even fans need to recover from. Talk about a roller coaster. You could be in for a roller coaster this year. It feels like you will.
Find a way to be opportunistic on causing turnovers. If you can win the turnover battle, that can help. That can also help with field position. So there's different ways to go about it, to winning. Now there's definitely a cornerstone. You got to be able to tackle. And I think our linebackers are going to do that. So if you're able to tackle 2-3 yard gains instead of 7-8 yard gains, then you're able to at least give yourself a chance to get off the field on third down.
877-377-6963. If there's anything you'd like to hit on with us, we got one more segment. Oh, it looks like the University of California has anointed a starting quarterback, a true freshman, and his name is more difficult to say than Iamaleava. It looks like he's got a first name with a hyphen, Jaron hyphen Keawe, Jaron Keawe? Keawe
95.3.
Very good. It does sound like a station, doesn't it? The last name is spelled, I'm just going to try to pronounce it, Sagapolutele. Yeah, have fun. It's a good thing the Hogs don't play Cal this year, because I'm still not sure if anybody has said Iamaleava correctly. We're back to wrap up the show right after this break.
The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed a dream season.
This is halftime.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. Financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Your love gives me such a thrill. But your love won't pay my bills. I want money. That's what I want.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Boy, I hear that song, I think of a quote from David Lee Roth from like 35 years ago.
Well, somebody said to me, as Patrick said, somebody said to me once, Dave, you can't buy love. I said, well, honey, we can sure park our yacht right next to it and walk over towards some there. I knew I had some bird.
Good words to live by right there, Matt. We just need the yacht.
Yeah, but I can buy a boat.
You just need money to buy a boat. That's the thing. Money does kind of lead to things that can make you happy. Good to wrap up halftime here. First, a reminder that you got a fantasy draft this Saturday.
Saturday.
Sounds like Landry's dad, or Carter's dad, also will be doing a fantasy draft. Are you in on this?
I'm not in on with that one with Matt. Thank goodness. I'd probably get my butt kicked in that league. But my little boy did end up making a pick for me the other night. I put my phone down next to him, and he ended up picking Brock Bowers for me. So we're set for tight end for the next 10 years.
Oh, that's a keeper league, huh?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So how many teams do you do?
We have 8 in our league. We've been doing it for about.
No, I mean,
2
how many?
years.
How many do you yourself?
Oh,
have?
myself, I do 2. I do 2 different leagues. One's on ESPN and one's on Yahoo.
All right.
His is NFL, mine's college though, so it's totally.
Yeah, I would like to do college. That sounds like fun.
Did you know that there's a very special fantasy football kickoff at Twin Peaks in Rogers? This is the place to draft like a pro. You can book for a very special fantasy football draft party at Twin Peaks. You'll get a draft kit. You get $50 kickback card for the commissioner and $5 kickback cards for every league guest. Plus, you can enter for a shot to win $1,000 in cash thanks to Molson Coors. TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft to learn a little bit more about that. Be a great place to do it. 29-degree draft beer always flowing, made from scratch fan favorites in the kitchen, and of course those very famous scenic views at Twin Peaks in Rogers. All right, it looks like we've made it to the end of the program today. I was going to point out maybe the Brewers are starting a new 14-game winning streak. They lost yesterday in 10 innings after a major comeback to make it 14 in a row the day before. They get the Cubs, a day-night doubleheader today to start a 5-game series. Brewers 1, Cubs nothing, top of the third. Matt, I think I got to make Milwaukee my new team because I may have cursed the Phillies since their ace starting pitcher, Zach Wheeler, is now out with a blood clot in his throwing arm. Who knows how long that can take him out. So I may have to give up on my Phillies, but they were my team for about 3 weeks. I'll go to the Brewers instead.
Leeds United take on Everton here in 6 minutes to wrap up week number 1 in the
How
Premier
quickly
League.
can you make it in front of a television?
About 2:17.
By then, all the great goals would have been scored. Oh, you
Well,
have to listen on the radio
neither one of these
podcast.
teams. I mean, they'd beat every single American team, but they're not that good. Yet.
Is this like watching Iowa State, Kansas State to open the season?
No,
just 'cause you had to
SEC
have a game.
They're SEC. It'd be like watching Auburn, versus South Carolina or something. 2 teams that aren't going to win the SEC, but they're still SEC guys out there.
It's good ball.
It's like an Auburn Baylor week 1 game. That's what that is. That's not bad. All right, I'd turn that on. It's a Friday night, so I get to turn it on too. Don't have to worry about if it goes against the Razorbacks and Alabama A&M. Hey, great to be back on a Monday. Carter's dad, look forward to having you tomorrow, too, for the last hour. Good luck getting some more sleep. Ruskin and Zach are coming up in just a few minutes, and the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will be ready to go lickety-split. Tomorrow, on a Tuesday, will be Alyssa Orange, now from Varsity Vibe, Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, and anything else we can dream up. Have a great rest of your day. Plus, we'll have sound from Sam Pittman and Travis Williams. Sam at the Touchdown Club in Little Rock. T-Will at the, I guess they had practice today, a post-practice press conference. That's halftime for a Monday for Matt and for Christian and for Carter's dad and for Carter himself. I'm Phil. Thanks for listening. Get up, get out, and get better.